Hello there, this is RomWills coming back at you with yet another video. Don't put a beautiful woman on a pedestal. Now, I've talked about this several times, but you know, I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going because a lot of times I might say something because somebody might hit me up. Now remember, I don't do requested videos, but somebody hit me up and say, well, how can I get that beautiful woman? Or I only want that 9 or 10. Well, first of all, if you chasing a woman that really represents only 1% of the population, less than 1% of the population, probably 1% of 1% of the population, you putting her on a pedestal. You putting her up there. You worshiping her. Indeed, when I've talked before about sexual icons. Icons mean that man is worshiping that woman. Look, whether that woman fixes herself up well, whether she has some really good genetics, she is still a regular human being. And putting her on a pedestal is actually hurting yourself. It's not even about the woman or trying to put her down. You actually hurting yourself. I've dealt with some women who are consensuously beautiful, who've been some beauty queens, who guys are going crazy over. And one of the things they always said about me is I didn't put them on a pedestal. I would just talk to them like they were just normal. Because they were normal. Yeah, they had great genetics, but it's like, okay, whatever. Because remember, I mentioned in another sit-down video this week, I had a very attractive, still in her 50s and still very attractive. I had some very attractive family members. Indeed, my mother, she was a paid model back in the 50s. Think about it, a black woman, a paid model in the 1950s? Come on now, come on. My grandmother, when she was, may she rest in peace. My mother rest in peace too. But when my grandmother was in her 60s, she could pass for somebody in her 30s. Beauty is nothing to me. Beauty is nothing. And just being around some beautiful women, yeah, once you get past the beauty, then you can find out their personality. In fact, I know of a guy who put this beautiful woman on a pedestal and then found out, oh, she was on some scamming stuff. There was a couple like that. There was a couple I've encountered who are like that, very beautiful, but they want some scamming stuff. Now, this ain't to say that every single beautiful woman is going to scam you or hurt you. But this is to say, once you take them off that pedestal, you can find out if they are in cooperation with your operation. You need to find out what their personality is like. You need to treat them in a certain way. Even when you're approaching women on the street. And look, I've said like be realistic, but you might see that woman, she fine. In fact, I even said it in my book, Nice Guys and Players. You might see that woman, you might have the damn principle. You see that woman, you like, damn. I always said approach a woman, if you say damn, you look at her and say damn, just go ahead and approach. But even then, you're not putting her on a pedestal. You're still talking to her. In fact, a great secret is talk to that woman the same way you would talk to an average looking woman. Indeed, many of those beautiful women, they want that. In fact, I've talked with quite a few of them. Whatever your age is, I've talked with more. Whatever your age is, I've talked with more. Over a lifetime, I don't care what your age is, I've talked with more. And one of the things that they would all say in common is they just wanted somebody who was going to just talk to them normal, treat them normal. Because that's one of the things, once you start talking with her, you find out something. Because and I've told the story before, I remember in college, I was real cool with this very beautiful young lady. And I remember coming in my room one time, she's sitting on my bed going through my comic books. There was another, went on a date with her. We talking about UFOs and everything. And she brought up the conversation. She was big on science fiction. In fact, she's the one who turned me on to that legendary TV show, The X-Files. She's like, Rom, you got to check out this show, The X-Files. She was into it. I met beautiful women. They could talk politics. I remember one. She was Argentinian, and we would just talk politics. We would just talk politics all the time. Like whatever. Shoot, met one. Shoot, she was. Well, I ain't gonna say it is. There's some political stuff with that now. Let's just say she was from the Middle East. We had some deep political conversations. Because here's the thing. Once you take them off the pedestal, you can talk with them. Because I had mentioned a few times about when I was working at this place and had this very beautiful young lady. Had this dude, he could talk to every other woman, but when he got around her, he was like, he couldn't say anything. And she was cool with me. And you could talk with her about some deeper stuff too. See, once you take them off the pedestal, you find out that they still people. And I ain't gonna get into whether that they fart, they do. And they bleed 5 times a month without dying, yeah. But you find out their personality. And then that's how you can really connect with them. Indeed, that's why you can get some very beautiful women with some guys who you might not feel like is on their level. They might not look like supermodels. And you're like, why is she with him? It was like, man, probably got to know him or knocked it out the box. Probably both. Hey, seriously. They probably talk. They probably click. Because when you're dealing with any woman, I don't care, and she could be beautiful, she could be average at best, she could be below average. She still got a personality. See, that's the thing to remember about a beautiful woman. Yeah, she got those great genetics, or she can fix her real well. She really worked to get to that position. And yes, it can tilt the room. Beauty is very powerful, but she still got a brain. And she's still human. She still have things that she's insecure about. She cannot walk on water. And contrary to popular belief, I knew I could call this one very beautiful woman's name. I remember she was celibate for many years. I don't know what she is now, but she was celibate for many years. You don't know. You can't, don't make any assumptions. Don't make any assumptions. Because all those assumptions or putting on a pedestal, thinking she doing this, thinking she'll date only certain types of men. Nah, you putting her on a pedestal. Take off that pedestal. Talk to her. Find out what's up. Be cool with it. All right? Be cool with it. Get her off that pedestal. Because then you can see the good stuff with her, but then you can also see the bad stuff with her. Like I said, I know of a couple young ladies. One I knew a little bit better than the others. They very beautiful, but then they want some scamming stuff. In fact, let me talk about that for a second. That's how a lot of guys get caught up. They get so caught up in the woman's beauty, and you do got some scammers out there that they know they can get whatever. They know they can get money. In fact, it was funny. There's one young lady who was very attractive. Worked on a job with her. I gave her some candy. She thought she could scam me out of some more stuff. I was like, nah, I just didn't like that candy. It was like, come on now. Only reason I gave her this candy was I didn't like that particular candy. Well, and I don't like throwing stuff away. And she thought she could get more. I was like, come on now. Honey, you ain't fine. You were just right there. If it was some dude right there I could have gave the candy to, I probably would have gave it to him. All right? Just when don't. All right? But take them off a pedestal. They're only human. All right? And I've said this before, and I'm always say this. And I'll probably do a video like this again because there'd be some guys saying, oh, how can I get that real beautiful one? I don't know. Talk to a motherfucker. Shit. Anyway. That's all I have for right now, and I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.